Ladies and gentlemen, life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. If you want success, you can't just hope for it, pray for it, or wish for it. You have to go hard after it. You have to chase it down like a lion chasing its prey. Because success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who hunt. Let me tell you something. The world doesn't care about your excuses. Nobody wakes up and says, "Today I want to fail." But guess what? Most people fail anyway. Why? Because they don't have the go-hard mindset. They give up too soon. They listen to doubters. They fear failure more than they hunger for success. But not you. You are different. You understand that greatness is not a gift. It's a grind. Every champion, every legend, every person who ever changed the world was once just like you. The only difference. They decided to go hard when others quit. They kept pushing when others rested. They saw obstacles as opportunities, not excuses. Think about this. When you face a challenge, what do? Most people run. They say, "This is too hard," or "I'm not ready." But the go-hard mindset says, "This is my moment." Because hard times create strong people. Struggle builds muscle, not just in your body, but in your mind. And a strong mind is the most dangerous weapon in the world. I've seen so many people with talent, big dreams, big ideas, but no fire, no fight. Talent is nothing without effort. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You might not be the smartest, the fastest, or the strongest, but if you have the go-hard mindset, you will outlast them all. Let me ask you, what's your dream? What's that thing that keeps you up at night? Now, how badly do you want it? If you want it, you have to be willing to bleed for it, sweat for it, cry for it, because nothing worth having comes easy. The road to success is paved with failures, rejections, and sleepless nights. But the ones who make it are the ones who refuse to stop. You will hear no 1,000 times. So what? Keep going. You will fall. So what? Get up. You will feel like quitting. So what? Push harder. The go-hard mind. It isn't about being fearless. It's about being unstoppable despite the fear. Look at the greatest athletes, the richest entrepreneurs, the most influential leaders. What do they all have in common? They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait for luck. They created their luck. They made their moment, and you can too, if you decide today that you will go hard no matter what. Some people say, work smart, not hard. I say, work smart and hard, because smart gets you in the game, but hard wins it. There are no shortcuts to success, no magic pill, no secret formula, just sweat, sacrifice, and the refusal to surrender. So what's it gonna be? Will you be like everyone else, comfortable, complacent, always wondering what if? Or will you be the one who goes hard? The one who fights, the one who refuses to lose. The choice is yours. But remember this, time doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop. Your competition doesn't stop. So why should you go hard or go home? Because in the end, you won't regret the chances you took, the battles you fought, or the risks you made. You'll only regret the times you held back when you should have gone all in. So today, right now, make the decision. Burn the boats, no retreat, no surrender, just one direction, forward, because the go-hard mind set isn't just about winning. It's about becoming the kind of person who never stops fighting for what they believe in. And that is how legends are made. Success doesn't come wrapped in a bow, handed to you on a silver platter. It doesn't knock on your door while you're asleep or drop into your lap while you're scrolling through your phone. Success is earned through sweat, through sacrifice, through relentless effort. You don't stumble into greatness. You claw your way toward it. Every single person who has ever achieved something extraordinary had to fight for it. There are no free passes, no shortcuts. No lucky breaks that don't require insane amounts of work behind the scenes. Think about it. When you see someone at the top, what you're seeing is the highlight reel. You don't see the years of grinding in silence, the failures they had to swallow, the nights they wanted to quit but didn't. You don't see the rejections, the doubters, the moments they had to pick themselves up off the floor and keep going. Success isn't something you're given. It's something you take. It's something you build brick by brick, day by day, even when nobody's watching. Too many people today want the reward without the work. They want the title without the grind, the respect without the hustle, the money without the risk. But that's not how life works. The universe doesn't owe you anything. The world doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about what you're willing to do to make them real. If you want something, you have to go out and earn it. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you the keys to the kingdom. You have to break down the doors yourself. Look at any legend in any field: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. What do they all have in common? They outworked everyone else. They showed up when others didn't. They pushed when others rested. They refused to settle. Michael Jordan wasn't born the greatest basketball player of all time. He became it by practicing harder than anyone else, by playing through injuries, by treating every game like it was his last. Elon Musk didn't wake up one day as the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX. He slept on factory floors, risked everything he had, and worked 100-hour weeks while others doubted him. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't luck. It's effort. It's persistence. It's the willingness to do what others won't so you can have what others can't. You think successful people just got lucky. No, they created their own luck by putting in the work when nobody else was. They earned their success by refusing to accept mediocrity, and here's the hard truth: if you're not willing to put in the work, someone else will. While you're hesitating, someone else is grinding. While you're making excuses, someone else is making progress. While you're waiting for the perfect time, someone else is out there getting it done. The world doesn't stop for anyone. Time doesn't pause. Opportunities don't wait. If you want success, you have to chase it down like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. This is why the go hard mindset matters. It's not about being the smartest or the most talented. It's about being the hungriest, the most determined, the one who refuses to lose. Talent might open doors, but hard work kicks them down. Intelligence might give you ideas, but execution makes them real. You can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't act on it, it means nothing. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get what you want? Are you willing to wake up earlier, stay up later, push through the pain, face rejection, and keep going? Because that's what it takes. Success isn't about having the best resources. It's about making the best use of what you have. It's about taking responsibility for your own future instead of waiting for someone else to change it for you. The moment you realize that success is earned, not given, everything changes. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop blaming luck or circumstances. You take control. You get to work. And you don't stop until you've taken what's yours. That's the mindset of champions. That's the mindset of those who refuse to be ordinary. And that's the mindset you need if you're serious about winning. Because in the end, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the work you're willing to put in to make them real. So get out there and earn it. Most people see obstacles and immediately think, this is where I stop. But the ones who achieve greatness see the same obstacles and think, this is where I begin. The difference isn't in what stands in front of them, it's in how they choose to see it. An obstacle isn't a dead end, it's a detour. It's not a wall, it's a test. Every challenge, every setback, every moment of struggle is an opportunity in disguise. if you have the eyes to recognize it and the courage to seize it. Think about the greatest innovations in history. They weren't born from comfort or convenience. They were forged in frustration, in necessity, in the stubborn refusal to accept limitations. The light bulb wasn't invented because Thomas Edison had an easy path. It was invented because he refused to quit after 1,000 failures. The airplane wasn't built because the Wright brothers had perfect conditions. It was built because they kept crashing and learning until they got it right. Obstacles didn't stop them. Obstacles taught them, and that's the key. When you hit a roadblock, you have two choices. You can let it defeat you, or you can let it define you. The first option is easy. Anyone can give up. Anyone can say, "This is too hard," and walk away. But the second option, the choice to push forward, to adapt, to find a way where there seems to be none. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Every obstacle is a chance to grow stronger, to get smarter, to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Look at nature. A seed doesn't become a tree without breaking through the dirt. A river doesn't carve a canyon without persistence. Resistance isn't the enemy of progress, it's the fuel for it. The same is true for you. The struggles you face aren't there to hold you back. They're there to shape you into the person you need to be to handle the success you're chasing. Without resistance, there's no strength. Without friction, there's no fire. Too many people spend their lives running from challenges, avoiding discomfort, praying for smooth sailing. But here's the truth. Smooth seas don't make skilled sailors. The moments that test you the most are the moments that prepare you the most. When you're forced to think differently, to dig deeper, to fight harder, that's when you discover what you're truly made of. That's when you find solutions you never would have seen if the path had been easy. Think about your own life. When have you grown the most? Was it during the easy times when everything went according to plan? Or was it during the tough times when you had to adapt, to innovate, to push beyond your limits? The obstacles you faced, the rejections, the failures, the moments of doubt, those weren't setbacks. They were setups. They were preparing you for something bigger, something better, something you couldn't have reached without them. This is why the go-hard mindset doesn't fear obstacles. It embraces them. It knows that every barrier is a chance to level up. If you're not facing resistance, you're not moving forward. If you're not being tested, you're not growing. The people who change the world aren't the ones who had the easiest path. They're the ones who refused to let any path stop them. They're the ones who looked at a closed door and didn't walk away. They kicked it down, climbed through a window, or built a new door altogether. So the next time you face an obstacle, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a stepping stone. Because the only difference between a stumbling block and a building block is how you choose to use it. And if you choose to use it as fuel, if you choose to let it sharpen you instead of break you, then there's nothing in this world that can stand in your way. Obstacles aren't your enemies, they're your trainers. They're your mentors. They're the universe's way of preparing you for what's coming next. So don't run from them. Don't resent them. Lean into them. Learn from them. And when you come out on the other side, stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever, you'll realize they were never holding you back. They were pushing you forward. The world is full of talented losers. People with brilliant minds who never amount to anything. Natural athletes who waste their gifts. Creative geniuses who never produce anything of value. Why? Because talent alone is worthless. It's what you do with it that matters. Talent might get you noticed, but only effort gets you respected. Talent might open a door, but only hard work keeps you in the room. Look around at any field, sports, business, arts, and you'll see the same pattern. The people at the top aren't necessarily the most naturally gifted. They're the ones who combine whatever talent they have with relentless effort. The mediocre performer with an incredible work ethic will always surpass the genius who's too lazy to practice. This isn't just motivational talk, it's the cold, hard truth that separates dreamers from achievers. Consider this. Talent is like having a powerful sports car. It looks impressive sitting in the driveway. But if you never put fuel in it, never turn the key, never push the accelerator, what good is it? Effort is the fuel that makes talent go. Without it, even the most gifted individuals go nowhere. The roads of life are littered with broken-down Ferraris people who had all the natural advantages but never bothered to develop them. The most dangerous lie we tell ourselves is, I could do that if I really wanted to. No, you couldn't. Because if you really wanted to, you'd be doing it right now. Real desire manifests in action, not in daydreams. The difference between wanting something and actually committing to it is the difference between wishing and working. And work is where talent either proves itself or gets exposed as meaningless potential. History doesn't remember people for what they could have done. It remembers them for what they actually did. Mozart had incredible natural talent, but he also composed his first symphony at age 8 and practiced obsessively his entire short life. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. His talent wasn't obvious until he combined it with legendary work ethic. Talent without effort is like a seed without water. It might contain incredible potential, but it will never grow into anything worthwhile. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Talent actually makes the work harder in many ways. When things come easily at first, you develop bad habits. You don't learn how to struggle. Then when you finally face real challenges and you're unprepared. Meanwhile, the less talented but harder working competition has been battling through difficulties from day one. They've built resilience, discipline, problem-solving skills, all the things that actually matter when the stakes are high. The modern world worships talent but undervalues effort. We're fascinated by child prodigies but ignore the adults who quietly outwork everyone else. This is backwards. Early talent often fades. Late bloomers who develop strong work habits frequently surpass their more gifted peers because in the long run, effort compounds. Daily discipline adds up. Consistent work beats sporadic brilliance every time. This isn't to say talent is meaningless. It gives you a head start, but head starts only matter in races where people quit early. In the marathon of life, the early leaders often fade while the steady workers overtake them. Talent determines how quickly you can pick something up. Effort determines how far you can take it. And in the end, distance traveled beats speed every time. The most successful people understand this. They don't rely on their gifts, they multiply them through effort. They know talent might make the first chapter easier, but only work writes the whole book. They're not afraid to be out. Talented because they know they can outwork anyone. While others are resting on their natural abilities, they're building skills. While others are being praised for potential, they're delivering results. This is why effort is the great equalizer. It doesn't care about your background, your genetics, or your advantages. It only cares about your willingness to show up and put in the work. A less talented person with maximum effort will always surpass a more talented person with minimal effort. Always, without exception. The math is simple. Talent effort equals results. If either number is 0, the product is 0. So if you find yourself saying, I'm just not talented enough, you're missing the point. The real question is, are you willing enough? Are you determined enough? Because effort can make up for a lack of talent, but talent can never make up for a lack of effort. The world is full of undiscovered geniuses who never did anything with their gift. Don't be one of them. At the end of the day, talent is common. What's rare is the willingness to do something with it. to endure the grind, to face the failures, to keep going when it would be easier to quit. That's what separates the great from the merely good. That's what turns potential into achievement. That's what makes the difference between being talented and being accomplished. So stop worrying about whether you have enough talent. Start focusing on whether you're putting in enough work. Because when talent sleeps, effort wakes. When talent takes breaks, effort keeps going. And in the long run, effort always wins. Not because it's more glamorous, but because it's more reliable. Talent is a flashy starting point. Effort is the unglamorous, unstoppable force that actually finishes the race. The choice is yours. Will you be content with what comes easily, or will you work for what matters? Will you rely on your gifts, or will you develop them? Will you be a person of talent, or a person of achievement? Because one is given, but the other is earned. And in the end, only what you earn truly belongs to you. Here comes a moment when every dream meets its first real test, that critical point where the initial excitement fades and only raw determination remains. This is where most people fold, where comfortable excuses replace uncomfortable effort. Where maybe tomorrow becomes never, but not you. You understand the fundamental law of achievement. Retreat is not an option. Surrender is not in your vocabulary. Because history doesn't remember those who gave up when it got hard. It remembers those who kept going when everyone else would have stopped. The difference between success and failure isn't intelligence, luck, or even skill. It's stubbornness, the refusal to accept defeat, the willingness to stand back up one more time than you get knocked down. Look at any great achievement in human history behind it, you'll find someone who simply wouldn't quit. Not when the money ran out, not when friends doubted them, not when failure seemed certain. They understood what most never will. The moment you commit to no retreat is the moment you become unstoppable. Life has a way of testing our resolve. It throws obstacles in our path, not to stop us, but to separate those who truly want something from those who merely like the idea of it. Every no you receive, every setback you face, every door that slams shut is actually doing you a favor. It's clearing the path of everyone who wasn't as committed as you are. The weak fall away. The determined push forward. And in that pushing, in that relentless forward motion, ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. Consider this. Every time you feel like quitting, someone else in your field is pushing through that same feeling. Every time you take the easy way out, someone else is taking the extra step that will eventually put them ahead of you. The competition never sleeps. Time never pauses. Opportunities don't wait for you to feel ready. The world moves forward with or without you. The question is whether you'll move with it or watch from the sidelines. No retreat means developing a different relationship with failure. Most people see failure as the end. You must see it as tuition, the price of admission to success. Every mistake teaches, every loss prepares, every setback strengthens. The person who never fails is the person who never tries anything worthwhile. But the person who fails and keeps going, that's the person who eventually wins. This mindset transforms obstacles from roadblocks into stepping stones. When you eliminate retreat as an option, suddenly problems look different. They become challenges to solve rather than reasons to quit. Your energy shifts from, "Can I do this?" to "How will I do this?" That subtle shift makes all the difference. It's the difference between hoping for success and demanding it. Between wishing things were easier and working to be better. The most powerful force in the world is a human being completely committed to something. Not sort of committed. Not committed when it's convenient. All in, burn, boats, no plan. Be committed. That level of commitment changes how you think, how you act, how you show up every day. It turns "I'll try" into "I will." It transforms dreams into non-negotiable objectives. When retreat isn't an option, you find ways to move forward that you never would have considered otherwise. Look at any underdog story. What made the difference wasn't superior resources or advantages. It was superior will, the refusal to accept limitations, the courage to keep fighting when the odds were impossible. That's available to you right now, not when circumstances improve, not when you feel more confident. Now, today, in whatever you're facing, the moment you decide there's no going back is the moment you tap into reserves of strength you didn't know you had. This isn't about blind stubbornness. It's about strategic persistence. Knowing when to pivot but never to quit. Understanding that setbacks are data, not defeat. That every no brings you closer to yes. That every expert was once a beginner who refused to give up. The path to success is never a straight line. It's a series of corrections, adjustments, and comebacks. What matters isn't how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up. No retreat, no surrender isn't just a mindset, it's a lifestyle. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when no one's watching. It's pushing past your perceived limits again and again until they expand. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. But you understand the power of daily, relentless forward progress, of small wins that compound into massive victories, of consistency that outlasts temporary motivation. The world will test your resolve. People will doubt you. Circumstances will conspire to make quitting seem reasonable. But remember, every major breakthrough in history happened because someone refused to accept the status quo. Every innovation, every record broken, every barrier shattered happened because someone looked at impossible odds and said, "Watch me." That can be you, not because you're special, but because you're willing to do what others won't. So when the voice in your head whispers, "Just give up," talk back. When the easy path beckons, turn away. When everything seems stacked against you, dig deeper. Because on the other side of that resistance is the version of yourself you're meant to become. The person who doesn't just dream but does, who doesn't just want but works, who doesn't just hope but achieves. This is your moment, not when conditions are perfect, not when fear disappears. Now, with all its challenges and uncertainties. Now is when champions are made. Now is when legends begin. The question isn't whether you'll face obstacles. You will. The question is whether you'll let them stop you. Whether you'll retreat when you could advance. Whether you'll surrender when you could conquer. The choice is simple but not easy. Keep going. Not just until you're tired, but until you're done. Not just until it's hard, but until it's done. Because the finish line belongs to those who refuse to quit. The victory goes to those who won't be denied. The future belongs to those who show up day after day, challenge after challenge, with two words etched in their soul: no retreat.